a show for 6 seasons, a show rich with Emmys, big stars, and winner of 2 Peabody Awards. But you'll never find it streaming at all. What is it? Hello, and welcome to this part of the pond, where it's the bullfrog and the one, the only, Newt.
Face reveal at 100,000 subscribers.
Insert face joke here. Here in the pond, when we begin the year, January is the month of lost gold. And before we go any further, just realize we want to watch that championship football game. But this, as much as awesome, I want to see Alabama and Georgia win. We're going to take the time for this video. Why? Mostly because of our subscribers and people watching. Face it, you guys are awesome. You're the real reason. But it's not saying when we're done, I'm going to go up there and cheer Georgia. At the end result, be kind in the comment section when this is all done filming. But we're doing it for you. And as we're doing this for you, we're also doing this for this. This show, Northern Exposure, was a big hit, but yet it's now non-existent. Not that many people will not know about it. And we're going to show off, this is actually a clever show. If you want good writing, this is it. If you want acting, I'm not saying everyone's star potential, but a lot got Emmy Awards. Unique characters? Oh, you bet. And a depth into philosophy, entertainment, and enlightenment. Here it is. This is lost gold and the definition of lost gold. And we're going to give you a little highlight of the show. Its depth, its writing, its meaning, its story, and its characters. Turn the light on your helmet, and I'm going to take you down this path, down the hole, where you're going to find gold, baby. Lost in this mine. And I'm telling you, this Alaskan gold is good. Northern Exposure is a dramedy, like I said, a philosophical one. It revolves around this Jewish doctor by the name of Joel Flashman, played by Rob Morrow. And it revolves around how he goes to this small town, Alaska, by the name of Sicily, the Riviera of Alaska, if you will. And the state of Alaska is going to pay for his license. But so happens you have to read the fine print. He can't leave the practice. If he does, he will get arrested. Yes, he'll still get money. He is going to get paid. And they're going to help his education. And more than that, this is going to be on-job learning for him. But if he leaves arrested, our little hero is locked in a place he doesn't want to be. And to quote the show creators, this is a fish out of water. And the point of the fish out of water is to see it flop. So we decided to take this fish as far away as we can from his ocean. Alaska, New York? Well, I think that is pretty far. And this conservative New Yorker has this, will they or won't they, with this pilot, feminist, Alaskan Democrat. Well, not really Alaskan. She wasn't raised there, but she loves Alaska. She's a part of Alaska right now. And she is played by Janine Turner. These two are, I don't want to say the heart. They're the face of the show, but once you go deeper into it, you'll be amazed. The first season is kind of rough. But once you get to that last episode and getting into the second season, you start to recognize the flow. But at the end of season 2, you know by then, this is where this show is trying to be. Intellectual, philosophical, funny, interesting, and they are willing to reenact books. They actually reenact parts of War and Peace and some other books as too, believe it or not. And they were willing to go to push boundaries around that time period. But more than that, it was all about character growth, good writing, hilarity, but most important of all, pure enjoyment. Seeing Flashman flounder is hilarious. But going to see him flounder to suddenly become, he actually almost disappears. He becomes an Alaskan bushman. Wait, you go from a New Yorker to actually thriving in the wild? Being the off-grid as possible? Where he's actually neighbors and friends to natives? And they just go, Flashman! He's like, yeah! How's it going, morning wind? Newt, is that character growth? Is that a character story you want to see, Newt? But it's more than just him, and it's more about O'Connell, the Alaskan Democrat pilot who is this will they, won't they, but also is still hilarious. And she knows how to attack. Ouch. There's more than those two. There are other characters you fall in love with. From Ed, they're not trying to play him as a 90s kid. And that depiction, he's just a few gears loose. But yeah, he has a genuine heart. He wants to be a director or a script writer. That's his goal. And you also have Ruth Ann, store owner and head librarian. Of course, those two are in the same building. And the Library of Sicily is basically as big as this. No, not our studio, what's behind me. This is how big that library is. It's a small town of 225? And I love Ruth Ann, I love Ed, but Maurice is one of my personal favorites. A Marine of the Korean War who went up in space and actually did a spacewalk with NASA, multi-millionaire, big-time hunter. This is the man that's making Sicily, Alaska as it is right now. He wants it to become the Riviera. I love him. He's big, he's a personality, and he has a character introduction that this is a man that is of power. This is a man that you should be intimidated. And at the same time, he's interesting. His best friend is also his rival. This rival friend owns a bar. This rival friend is a kind, quiet guy. This is a man who didn't want Alaska to become a state. This is a man who used to be a fur trader for a brief moment. This is a man that has lived life. But what made these two friends become rivals? A girl. But that girl is more closer to the word girl. I think she won Miss Alaska when she was 19. And Maurice saw her, brought her to Sicily, and she connected with his best friend. And the best friend left her at the altar at their wedding. Like I said, this is an interesting show, but they use it to humor you. They use conversations that wouldn't be said in modern reality, but they use it in a way that you just can't help but go, It's not that I love you because of your mind. It's because I love you because of your body. Really? Oh my gosh, I don't know who's worse. And oh my gosh, you are sick. And oh my gosh, why am I laughing? And this is just the tip of the iceberg of characters. You have Elaine Miles of Smoke Signals fame playing Meryl Whirlwind, this quiet secretary of Joel Flashman. He didn't hire her. She just took the job. He didn't even offer the job. He didn't even say there was a job. She just sat and said, I'm your secretary, and stayed like that for the rest of the show. She's like a quiet titan. The woman is good in her roles. The way how they choose words for her to say, I love. I love the fact that she is very wise. I love the fact that she also has her faults. And I love the fact that it's not that she has an ego, but there's a sense of pride, but also a sense of all-knowing. And all that is wrapped together for her role. Miles, this is a character that is the spirit of this show. It's her. Joel and O'Connell is the face. She's the spirit. But that hidden glory that makes this show just 10 times joyful. He's in once in a while, but when he's there, it's like Kramer. You know when Kramer comes in Seinfeld, that's the first thing you see. The whole audience just goes, yeah! Whenever Adam comes on, yeah, he's there. Adam, he looks like a homeless man. He lives in the Alaskan bush. And whenever you see him, they like to show off this man doesn't wear shoes. And the fact that he's in Alaska not wearing shoes, he's a pessimist, he's a jerk, he doesn't hold back. If you irk Adam, Adam gets mad. If Adam wants to say it, he will say it. This is a man that doesn't hide. He is a man that stands up and says, yeah, you know what? And I love every square second of it when he's on screen. He is fun, he is golden. And what is the kicker? He's probably the world's best chef ever.
It's cumin, all right? Are you satisfied now? It's cumin.
I knew it was cumin.
There's an episode where you have this French chef who's considered the best. Adam walks on this Maurice's cabin. Again, this is multi-million house. There's a bunch of people. Maurice is preparing for a big feast. And he's being busy, and suddenly Adam walks on just because he can. It's Adam. And he's about to kick Adam out, and Adam looks at the French guy and goes, You thief! I taught you everything I know, and more than that, you stole my recipe. And that recipe made you famous. You backstabbing assassin. And he's saying that dressed as a hobo with no shoes on and with the sheer graceness that is Adam Arkin. Oh my gosh, that guy can play a jerk and you love every second of it. You thief. You look like a hobo. He's dressed as a French, and he's dressed as the head chef leading an army. And you see that French chef cower in fear of a hobo. The contradictions of this show are awesome. Maurice and his morals. There's a great episode where he finds out this house he's going to sell to become a bed and breakfast. The guys that are buying it are partners, but he didn't realize they were partners till later on. And he starts going, I don't want you guys here in my backyard. Get out of here. And the two gay guys go, you know what? We'll do it. We'll pay the asking price. You want us out? We want to stay even more. So here's the money. And now Maurice has a choice. Hold to his morals, but realize he also is a man of the paycheck. And this man who's trying to make Sicily into a big city. Well, not a big city. He wants to make Sicily into a place to be. He owns a lot. He owns everything. He owns a radio station. We have this artistic DJ. Looks familiar. I don't know from where. This DJ kind of sets Maurice down and goes, you know what? I think there's a way where I can help you with this choice. And it's an interesting episode. It's a hilarious episode, but I love that moment. Some of my favorite episodes are where Maurice gets a challenge where he has to look at himself and his morals and his place in life. And this character, who looks like he doesn't change actually does. It's not an easy transformation as it is for Joel. And Joel is the fish out of water. But this rock, this brick made out of titanium, that is Maurice, to see him change is a lot more interesting. I mean, he ends up letting the gay guy stay because he finds out there's so much more in common with them. The three of them are actually army men. The three of them enjoy cooking. The three of them all enjoy Broadway. And yes, he's uncomfortable about their lifestyle, but he loves hanging around them and just be one of the guys. He invites one of them to his big feast. That huge rant of love of a had for Adam, him attacking that French cook. It's the same episode. Well, Maurice gets one of these gay guys, hilarious by the way, to decorate the place. And it's decorated, it looks beautiful. All of our cast is there on this long dinner table eating expensive stuff. I mean, this is showing Maurice's money. And that gay guy does a toast. And it's one of my favorite lines of the show. And you can't find it on YouTube. I can't find it at all, anywhere. And you won't be able to download it because it's hard to find on the internet. This is the only way to watch Northern Exposure. And I didn't read the fine print on Amazon. Region 2. And this was supposed to be a Christmas gift for my parents. So I ended up spending a little bit more money, but it was for them. And for me, but mostly for them. So I got a multi-regional DVD player, these, and because of those, I can't really download this clip. This is how hard it is to find Northern Exposure. And this is the only way to watch it. And through all this strife, I give you this. One of my favorite quotes of Northern Exposure. But this is the man that Maurice didn't want to sell. This is the man who Maurice doesn't like that lifestyle. This man gives Maurice this speech, celebrating Maurice. So imagine this character raises his martini glass and gives this toast. And I quote, I'm not good at memorization, so bear with me, and I quote, "There is no hidden agenda with this man. He is not going to stab you in the back. No, he's going to plunge that dagger right into your belly. Pull it up and twist it till your guts spill right on your shoes. Maurice, my dear friend, you are a homophobe and a bigot. But you truly have a marvelous taste in aesthetics and truly a superb collection of Gershwin LPs." I love that quote for many reasons. The words that it has that makes me laugh. The story behind this quote. That we have different lifestyles, but at the same time, there's so much we are similar with. And it shows a growth of a character. Small as it is, but it shows a brick made out of titanium can move. That a New Yorker can become a bushman of Alaska. That an artistic DJ finds family. That an orphan Native American tells his story how in a tribe raised him and how he said, and he has his own strange wisdom. And the quiet Titan that just sits and watches and sees everyone grows and knows that they are good. And this is just the tip of this iceberg. There's an episode where they do a debate. Why is this debate here? Well, they found a man frozen in ice. And that man frozen in ice was actually Napoleon Bonaparte's right-hand man. And when you read in his journal, according to this journal, Napoleon Bonaparte wasn't at Waterloo. They fled. They pretended to be Russian fur trappers and fled to Alaska and stayed in Alaska for a little bit till Napoleon got homesick and tired and left, leaving a Native American woman pregnant who he fell in love with. in this history, what does this mean if we do a big giant museum to this guy? Well, this would mean to the world, to history, more than that, the textbook industry. You see this debate happen between the artistic DJ and Joel Flashman and the meanings of it. What's even hilarious, Ruth Ann, the general store owner and the head librarian, talks to Ed and how this debate is going to move. Going from, they're going to get to truth, but before you know it, they're going to go into the abstract philosophy. And when it happens, she just nods and says, see? Find this show, watch it, and by all means, attack Twitter. Hashtag compensate and let Northern Exposure go. Because the reason why this isn't streaming, it's not because of big business. It's not because of studio interference. This is why we never see a rerun of it. This is why it's so hard to find anywhere. Yes, you could see stuff on YouTube, but it's not good quality and it's very hard. Yet at the same time, it gets even harder to find the DVDs. This is lost gold. Go out and watch it. Bear with it and enjoy it. It is fun, clever, and this show's good writing. And until next time, it's the Bullfrog and the Newt signing out. But before we go, two things. We're going to try to leave you with a clip to show you what the show is.
No meaning, well, other than survival? Or does the Enlightenment view prevail? Does the Creator have a master plan? And if so, what is it?
My uncle once told me about a warrior who had a fine stallion. Everybody said how lucky he was to have such a horse. Maybe, he said. One day the stallion ran off. The people said the warrior was unlucky. Maybe, he said. Next day, the stallion returned, leading a string of fine ponies. The people said it was very lucky. Maybe, the warrior said. Later, the warrior's son was thrown from one of the ponies and broke his leg. The people said it was unlucky. Maybe, the warrior said. The next week, the chief led a war party against another tribe. Many young men were killed, but because of his broken leg, the warrior's son was left behind, and so was spared.
And also, let's go Georgia. This is Bullfrog and the Newt signing out. And hopefully by when this gets published, the football championship will go in our favor. Goodbye. What? Come on, Georgia, let's go!